Okay, part 4. I'm having issues with this damn tablet. Number 27 of my everyday eyeshadow palette ranking is the She Glam Glitzless palette. So this is the first and only introduction I've ever had to She Glam's formula of eyeshadows. And I love the packaging. Packaging is stunning. And the eyeshadows itself are nice. The only problem I have is that this and this are the only mattes in this palette. Everything else, that's a sequin and that's a shimmer. And everything else is metallic. I just don't think that this is a one and done palette. And honestly, if I remember correctly, the shimmers are a little more sheer on the sheer side. But they're nice. Like, they are nice. It's just like, don't put them up against like Natasha Denona. Even e.l.f. e.l.f. shimmers are better than this one, honestly. And that is the palette. It's pretty packaging, but it's honestly very lackluster, and it's ranking so low because even though I love this palette and I love the packaging, I can see myself getting rid of this palette soon. Okay, so number 28 is the ColourPop Extra Celestial palette in the shade Coast is Clear. This is the more purple dark one, and these are just tones I don't reach for, which is why it's ranking underneath the other two. It's because they're just tones I don't reach for, and looking at it, you would think I would reach for it because I love me a good cool tone palette, but I just don't reach for these colors. I don't reach for this palette. I haven't had any inkling to use this palette either, which is sad because it's ColourPop and I spent like $30 and I want to get my use out of these palettes. It's just, there's something up with these palettes. I don't know if it's different formula or what, but these shadows do not perform the way ColourPop's usual shadows perform. Okay, so number 29 is the LA Colors Peach Fizz palette. So I honestly forgot about this palette when I was doing my ranking. So this is by no means a 29 palette. It's actually pretty good. It's actually better than some other palettes I have, which is why during my next declutter, it's not going to get decluttered. It's just, you are going to have to want a orangey, fall, warm type of look when you use this palette. And yes, the quality might not be the absolute most stunningly best, but I do think that it is a great palette. I really do, which is why I kept this one over the Peach Kiss palette. And I do like it. It's nice. Okay, now we're just getting into the shit palettes that are honestly just going to leave my collection probably pretty soon. And the first one, the number 31, which is probably my most favorite out of all of the last four, is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Mini Controversy palette. This is the Emerald Edition one. Looks like this. I just don't like the color stories of most of these palettes. It is Jeffree's good formula, which is why I like these palettes and I keep these palettes around, because it is Jeffree's good formula. But this green that I'm going to swatch for you guys is so unique and so pretty. I mean, like, look at that. I don't have anything like that in my collection. That's so stunningly pretty. That's why this one for me ranks higher than the other palettes, is because of that green, honestly. Like, if this green wasn't in here, it wouldn't rank as high as it has. And I mean, I've used these blues before, but I have blues like this in other palettes, so it's not like that blue is unique by any means, other than the fact that it's Jeffree's formula. Okay, number 31 for me is the Profusion Cosmetics Desert Sage palette. This is a pretty recent collection, or palette to my collection. It's just like, honestly, a mediocre formula, and I wish I really hadn't gotten this palette. I was sucked in by the packaging. The formula itself is not what I like from Profusion, because I actually do like Profusion Cosmetics. I think that they have good formulas, and some of their eyeshadows are really, really stunning. And I'll actually show you in this pink swatch here. That's mediocre at best. If I want a good pink, I'm gonna go to Jeffree Star, to be completely honest, like a good matte pink like that. Because most brands just are so disappointing. But the problem that I had is that when I got this palette, that pink was what I was most excited about. And honestly, the fact that the pan sizes aren't the same kind of gets my OCD going, to be completely honest. I mean, that shimmery pink is lackluster. There's a glitter in here, which I'm going to swatch next, so be prepared because it's not a good glitter. If you're expecting a good glitter, I'm actually going to start swatching them here. It's not good. Are you okay, buddy? It's not a good glitter, like I said. It just don't pop. I have to feed him lunch after this video. I have no idea what I'm going to make, but I have to feed him lunch. The shimmers just, like, they're just there, honestly. And the mattes are kind of not the greatest either in this palette. Like, I wish I hadn't gotten this palette. I really, really do. And it's one I'm definitely going to declutter, but I have other palettes I don't like in this collection. That is why I am not decluttering it yet. Plus, it's pretty new to my collection. We need lunch! So this is the Desert Sage palette. It's just lackluster. My light died. I was trying to keep it from dying. Sad. Okay, number 32 is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Mini Controversy Original Palette. And the reason that this is lower than the Emerald one is because there is nothing special about this palette whatsoever. Honestly. I have the other one ranking higher because of that emerald shade, but still, I mean, it's just like a color story that I don't know how people work with this, honestly. Like, at all. I have no idea. It's a controversy in itself. I also don't like Shane Dawson. But all three palettes he made, I feel like just have a weird color story. Okay, number 33 for me is the Kylie Cosmetics Bronze Palette, the eyeshadow. This is the original formula. I didn't try the remake or the new remake because she's rebranded like 40 times already. So this is the palette, and it's quite underwhelming, I should say. Well, that actually swatched amazing. It's just like, if I compare it to my Boss Babe palette, it's very... But when I compare it to the Boss Babe palette, which was neutrals and that are warm toned, like what this palette is supposed to be, I would rather keep the Boss Babe palette than this one because it's very lackluster. And yes, I know there's no lights on the palettes, but it's still like lackluster. Plus, this is an older palette, and I'd rather get the redone version because it's got to be better than this, honestly. I have this ranking low because I think I'm going to, not in my next declutter, but my declutter after that, declutter this. But I have this ranking so much lower because I think I'm going to declutter this in maybe my next declutter, but I haven't actually decided yet because I am not thinking that far ahead. Okay, final palette. My number 34 palette is the Manny and Morphe palette. I'm so sorry, Manny. I ranked this so low because I know that this is going to be the palette I'm going to get rid of in my next declutter, which I'm planning for 2 more months from now. But anyways, I love Marble and I love Manny, which is why I got this palette, but I don't like Morphe's shadow formula. The shimmers in here are okay, which you will see when I swatch them. It's the mattes that I have the biggest issue with. And it's just the fact that I don't like Morphe's formula. Morphe's formulation for eyeshadows performs quite patchy on me personally. So that is why I don't want this palette in my collection. Honestly. I mean, it's very patchy, and I would rather have lackluster and able to build up than extremely patchy, to be completely honest. And I only have this palette to support Manny. But, I mean, like, look at that. Look at Gaminta. Gaminta is horrible. Is the worst one I've had so far. But, and it honestly, like, and it has Aries, and Manny and I are both Aries, and it has a highlighter shade in here called Nova, which my mom's name is Nova. So, there is that, and the highlighter shades actually are good shades for me. But again, it just like I don't like the fact that it's super patchy. I don't like Morphe's formula, and the only reason I have this palette was to support Manny. But I can support Manny by supporting his brand Lunar Beauty that I know he puts all of his hard work into, and I absolutely adore the formulation of Lunar Beauty. Okay, 34 palettes ranked 4 videos later. I might post these videos tomorrow just because I have 41 minutes left of filming on this tablet that it'll hold. And I have other videos to film, so might post this tomorrow. I just wanted to have a ranking my eyeshadows kind of together. So there's that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. All that social media great stuff. It really helps this channel out. I'm going to end it here. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, guys!